Alright, for my Kinematics project, I designed a cow stopper. And so the cows will come through this big garage door into this sort of staging pen. And then they have to go down this chute to get into the roping boxes that are over there. So what happens is oftentimes we'll load them in and we want them to be kind of lined up, but they'll try and back out. And so the current solution that's been employed is a piece of wood shoved between the slats, which works, but it's kind of dumb. So we're doing it this way now. This is the linkage I designed, and it will go down, and I'm going to install a handle on that piece that's being moved, the upper link, but that is how it will be attached. And yeah, that's about it. Alright, so now that you've seen the final prototype, I'm going to walk a little bit through the design process that I had to go through. So this is the second iteration that I had. The first one was literally just some lines that were sketched. So in this model, I just used an arbitrary geometry for the links, kind of to verify that they would fit and work. I also got a little bit of a higher quality model for the fence, and then I colored the links to kind of help differentiate which one's which. So this would be in the open position, and then as this comes down, this would be in the closed position. One thing that was different between this iteration and the first is the first had the coupler link attached to the rocker at the very end, which caused the input link to be really long, which would be a little bit cumbersome for operation. So by moving that attachment point to the middle of this link, I was able to shorten both of those links and make the overall linkage lighter and a little easier to operate. I added a handle here, but as you'll see in my next iteration, that handle actually changes a little bit. So let's jump to that now. So this is the final iteration, which I modeled to be made out of square tubing and bolted together with just standard 1/2-inch bolts. I've also modeled a tubular handle here. This was important, especially because I discovered that the mounting brackets that I'm kind of still in the design phase on for these wouldn't have been tall enough to handle the square corner that this square tubing would create. So I had to make those a little bit taller to ensure that they wouldn't contact each other. The overall motion is essentially the same. This handle will facilitate it to be significantly easier to operate than the other handle that I had. Another design consideration, especially with this bolt here, it's going to have to be a shorter bolt. It won't be able to pass all the way through, so that's something I either need to change or something that's going to just have to work like that because these two sit really close to each other. Either that or I'll have to provide additional clearance here. All in all, that's the extent of this project here. That's really the motion that it's going to be completing.